You to be a part of the show always. The line is WhatsApp. On WhatsApp is 0809 4440981. And then you can call 01 448 9981. We're talking about beauty standards, especially the impact of the beauty industry here in Nigeria on the beauty standards. Now, I am not doing this alone. I have laid the background. I have told you some of the statistics and the data. It is said that Nigerians are beautifully sitting on top of the list of people in Africa who pay attention to their health, their look, no, not their health now, their looks, their skincare, their how they look generally. And then I further told you that according to the Sagacity research that was published by Business Insider Africa, the age range is between 18 to 25, even though I am thinking, are you sure we don't have women who are older than that paying more attention as well? But that's by the way. So as my guest this morning, I have somebody who has quite the interesting career journey from being in finance and analyzing the numbers, raking in the money, and moving into the business of beauty. She's a beauty entrepreneur and she is the CEO of Merit Multi Services, that is overseeing the likes of Makeup Maven. You've got Milani Cosmetics Nigeria, Beauty by Aubrey. I am referring to Linda Onyesoh.
Hello, hello.
Good morning. Did I miss something?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. I wanted to be sure. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Now, I'm particularly curious about your career journey. How did you move from being on Wall Street to the beauty industry?
Well, very easy. Passion, a lot of passion. And I've always had the interest in trading because my mother was one of the, my mother was an entrepreneur, so she was in Lagos Island, growing up, and before I transitioned out back to the US to go to school and work. So I've always had the interest in trading, and beauty came very easily because I remember while I would go to school, I was in grad school, I used to enjoy going to, pick up a product and test on products and test on my sisters and myself. So, and then eventually everyone got interested. Oh, what are you using? What did you use? Blah, blah, blah. And then it took off. So for obvious family reasons and having children and being that the line of work I did in operations and fixed income indexing used to take a lot of time from me, a lot. I would get back home sometimes 2 a.m. and I had twin boys, young twin boys that were a few months old, and I said, you know what, maybe it's time to it took a few years to fully transition. I was still working and doing this, and the Makeup Maven came through with and this was like probably 11 years ago, and some girl told me, you're literally a makeup maven. You know so much about this stuff, and that was how we got the name, Makeup Maven.
Interesting.
And it took off. We went from there, and of course, you see how, just as you said, various statistics, Nigeria sits on the top in the world. I promise you, because I promise you, we are moving mountains. Because when you talk about the makeup industry, I think generally the young ladies that we're breeding now, the young ladies that are getting into the makeup game, they're on fire. They are doing so very well, because coming from America, where I see how people are a little laid back to going to beauty school and just going through the whole motion of learning how to do hair, learning how to do makeup, and just the whole process. I feel like women who, and I'm talking about the younger ladies now, because we've had the opportunity to mentor some of them, they literally have so much passion about this whole process that they would come out of school with, even I know lawyers with graduate degrees who would rather go and do makeup. And I'm talking about the fact that they're not talking about the money. They don't care, and of course everyone cares about the money because you have your life, your life, and you have your bills. But they have this interest to see a woman transform from being, and no African woman is basic, no Black woman is basic. We're beautiful. We're fabulous. But you see the transformation from seeing like a woman who is, sitting in her home, running the home, and you transition her and transform her into this gorgeous, gorgeous baby. It's mind blowing. And so I think this transition, when women see some of this transition, they look at this transition and they're like, you know what? If I can transition this woman to be like this is probably something I want to do passionately. And that's how it's born. And that's what has grown, and that is what is growing the skincare industry. Because I feel like you have to have a very perfect, and no one, no one is perfect, but you have to have near perfect skin. So we're coming into this genre where the younger ladies are very interested in their skin vis-a-vis makeup. So it's a process. So there's a lot of passion involved. There's a lot of transformations that happen, and there's a beauty and like a reopening. It's just very, very enriching to see. It's very
Thank you for walking me through your journey.
Yes.
Now we'll take a breather, and when we come back, I'd like to know from your point of view the difference between 11 years ago, or when you got into the beauty industry in Nigeria, and now, the things that have happened. I think about in 1998 we had the likes of I'm trying not to mention the brand names now, those who pioneered some makeup products, and now where you have new entrants. Now, aside that, we've got the rise of indigenous makeup brands, and yeah, so all of those things have contributed to the growth. But I would like to get your thought on what it was before, what it is now, and some of the things that are contributing. And then we talk about the beauty standards, why it looks like from the outside people want to look a certain way. Why is that? And every other thing involved. You're listening to Soul Sisters on Smooth 98.1. Stay with us.
Guy, you know I can get good sneakers. You sabi Felicia Street, I mean, after the last bus stop,
we don't do urban, we do R&B,
R&B soul,
That's for my age range.
Exactly, we cater to the
online marketplace.
the older people, so our target audience are more matured.
Access to a wide range of products.
We can deal with
I can't.
but we do have shows that also cater to world music, what they call world music, Afrobeat, African and all that. But it's not typical Afropop. It's not typical. Alright, we're back.
Nobody does it better. Yeah.
And you're welcome to the station that loves music, loves life, and loves everything about you, your personal development, and growth. On Wednesdays, we have special love for the sisters, and that's why we call the show Soul Sisters. It airs from 11 to 11:50. Today, we are talking about the beauty of the sisters and why they are determined on looking a certain way, or why they want to look a certain way. What are the factors that are involved, and what are the determinants of it? We're talking about beauty standards, in other words. And later on, we have gotten into the impact somehow of the makeup industry. I do have with me a beauty entrepreneur, and she is Linda Onyesoh. By the way, you can join us on YouTube. youtube.com/smooth981fm Lagos. Again, youtube.com/smooth981fm Lagos. I was looking at the history of makeup, and I realized it's been since forever. From the time of the Egyptians. In fact, if you look at some Egyptian bronze and the bust, you will see the eyeliner there. Some call it kajal, some call it, I don't know, whatever it is. And then I was checking up on some of the history, and I realized that at some point women were passing out due to lead cream and of course the tight girdle. So if you talk about the beauty standards in Nigeria, what do you think it will be typically the beauty standard in Nigeria?
Well, the beauty standard in Nigeria is relative, in the sense that people have their various views about how they want to perceive beauty and how they want to see beauty. You would see someone who thinks like an extremely fair-skinned woman is the classification of beauty, or how they want to rate beauty, and you see someone who thinks that a beautiful black woman and who is in her typical skin is their classification of beauty. But I would say beauty is skin deep, because if you're looking within yourself, and whatever way you want to measure beauty, and you're looking within yourself and you say to yourself that I'm beautiful regardless of how I look, I'm beautiful regardless of the skin I'm in, then that's your perfect explanation of beauty. So it's relative.
Now let's go back to makeup before I talk about how some have, for the lack of a better word, demonized makeup. Yeah, we'll definitely have to touch on that. But you remember I said that I would like to understand what you think has happened to the makeup industry in Nigeria, the beauty industry in Nigeria.
It's evolved.
Yeah,
it has evolved. The beauty industry, I remember when we went to the first makeup fair, there were very few of us. It was just, mostly the indigenous. And in my own case, I didn't have a brand then. It was, I used to just carry mostly, uh, I would say a little bit of high end, but mostly the drugstore level American brands, which is mostly what we still do now. But then we had a lot of, ethnic brands that will come, and then a lot of them started to, because we started to see a growth, and we started to see a lot of, younger ladies coming into their own and creating their own brands, and, it started to evolve. And let me tell you now, I am so proud. I'm so proud of what is going on. There's a lot of, young ladies who are creating their brands, who have this extreme passion to make sure that Nigeria is on the list and on the map for, the makeup industry. I see, we were in Houston for the Fidelity Bank had a Trade Connect, and I was very proud to see a lot of the young ladies like Nivian Beauty and, Beauty by AD. They had stands, and people were coming in and asking questions, and it was very, very enriching to see young women who are trying to take the beauty standards. And as far as I'm concerned, if you say I don't want to call them the Nigerian makeup brands. It is a makeup brand. A makeup brand is, because if you wake up and you sit with a chemist and you create a line of products from foundation to concealers to eye pencils to the the lip stains, the lipsticks, the lip liners, if you can sit down and work with a chemist to construct, formulate, and produce those, you're international. Because I've been in the business long enough to know that it takes a lot. The finances involved, the planning, the meetings, the travel, the packaging, the registering of these products with the regulatory bodies. It's the process is overwhelming. But if you sit in your space and you say, I'm not going to let anything deter me, I'm not going to let anything confuse, or I'm going to go ahead and do this, the sky's your limit. So I don't think anything is limiting these young ladies anymore. They're going for it.
Thank you. I'll veer off a little before I go back to something about makeup and talk about inclusion and diversity when it concerns beauty. I know over the time there have been so many calls and advocacy about big brands, the ones that they know, including different shades of tone. In fact, sunscreen is a typical one. For mineral sunscreen, you see people shouting and saying, why do I have a white cast? Why did you make sunscreen for the white people? So would you say the big brands have to, consider everybody, or you have to rise in response to that?
Yeah, well, inclusion, I remember when it was a few years ago, and people like Jackie Aina, who is a content creator and a beauty entrepreneur too, she spoke out a lot. And after, initially they were going to do the whole cancel culture thing on her, but look at her now, she's thriving. But she was one of the first Black women who came out and said, you know what, if you are not going to include melanin shades in your foundation line, if you're not going to come out and have any form of inclusion for Black women, we're not buying anything from you. Because you could go to a store and I don't know if they felt like the Black women were not spending enough, because we spend money on beauty. What was this need for the lack of inclusion on melanin shade fairness? So now you see everyone, and I mean everyone, having up to 52 to 60 shades in the foundation, from the regular basic maybe 5, 6, 7, and at the most 11. So every brand is repackaging to accommodate the Black woman. And when we now come back here and see these ladies who sit down, I mean, do you know what it takes to formulate and make, even if it's 12 shades for 12 different women? There's like 5 of us in the studio now, and we have 5 different shades. So imagine if you have 100 women in here. So that's why you see ladies sitting down, and that's why I really applaud our makeup artists in this country. Because, for instance, I'm this shade, you're this shade, she's that shade, she's that shade. Sometimes they have to mix 3 different shades of foundation to get the perfect shade for you. And I always tell women, I don't care how fair you are, I don't care how dark you are, the way you know your foundation is from the shade on your neck. Because you're not going to have like this super dark neck and you want to wear a light shade of foundation. No, it has to blend in. So we're going to use that for, so because everyone wants to have the need to, because of course our classification of a very beautiful or a super, it's a woman who's lighter than her,
That's me. Putting my hand, I'll come back to that. Yes. Thank you.
So I see myself in shows here trying to convince someone to get her foundation. She's like, no, I'm lighter than that. I said, ma'am, you are not lighter than that. You are a lot lighter, but we can, try to get you your correct shade by bottom, but we're going to give you the shade you need to buy. And a lot of times they walk away because they want to get something lighter. And we're coming back now, and I'm super excited about the fact that the skincare industry is evolving now to a where you just talked about sunscreen, where women are coming out and saying like, I need to use sunscreen every day. I have to buy the perfect sunscreen for myself that doesn't have a white cast. And there's a whole lot of companies now who are making the effort to make sunscreen that edifies and beautifies and enriches the skin that we're in. And the skin that we're in is, it has a purpose, because I find it very hard to find a black woman who has like super dry skin. And that's because we don't crack. There's some elements of oil, and I say that's the youth serum that we have naturally, compared to the Caucasian skin where they have to, hydrate and modify and do all sorts to look a certain way, but still it's not that supple. But we are born supple, even until you walk around and see a 97-year-old woman and you're looking at her, and I'm like, I stopped and I said, do you know how beautiful you are at this age? You're 97? No. Of course, I'm trying to make them feel good. But at the same time, the skin they're in is perfect. So we're made in such perfection that it makes sense now that, the beauty industry is coming. Do you see when these girls do makeup and they do all this, before and after, and they have this transformation? It's glorious.
I really want to delve into the makeup, what makeup is, what it's meant to do. But again, I'll keep that in the cooler. But allow me to veer off a little bit. So, Nigeria has a bleaching problem.
Yes.
So bad that the NAFDAC had to declare a state of emergency.
Yeah.
Why do we have a bleaching problem?
Again, beauty is relative. And it's interesting that you said that, because this new generation are not bleaching as much. I promise you.
So is the older generation bleaching?
I'm not saying that too. I'm going to put it in your face, but I'm telling you, these younger girls are into hydration. They're into,
melanin
the
popping.
the melanin popping, the sunscreen, the serums, the acids, because you can literally look your perfect self in your skin. I'm not, and that is why I made it upon a duty not to sell or carry bleaching products, because I don't believe in it. I'm sorry. But I also encourage people to take care of you, because if you put anything that is going to affect layers of your skin and seep into your blood cells and seep into your lungs and kidneys and affect you tomorrow, that's on you. But there's so many other things you could do to look your perfect self. Makeup does such a transformation that at the end of the day, you don't even need to bleach your skin. It's just the perfect makeup artist. Because when a perfect makeup artist sculpts your face and puts you in these contours and, exhibits those cheekbones and flattens your nose, and you look at yourself in the mirror like, honey, I don't think I needed that bleaching cream. What I needed was a perfect makeup artist or a perfect makeup tutor to teach, because we have the perfect, face outline. We have the perfect features. We have the perfect, like our cheekbones are mapped. You know how people plant all sorts in their cheeks just to look like us? So I think people are coming out of that process now. They're coming because we find ourselves even actually, and I'm not even a skin esthetician, but I find myself having to treat a lot of burns. Having to use basic acids and basic, skin, just even drugstore products to treat and take care of the patches under the eyes, take care of the burns and all that. So beauty is relative. And I honestly feel like that bleaching emergence or that bleaching culture is slowly leaving us. It's leaving us. Because the truth is the damage it's caused, this new generation don't want it. They don't want it.
Thank you. Now, from the conversation, it is so hard to separate beauty from facial features.
Yes.
It is so hard. In fact, if you were to ask a regular person, an average person, and to define beauty, chances are that everything they will say will only the face.
Yes.
Now, makeup.
Yeah.
Some have defined it to be an augmentation for features you lack or flaws that you might have. But what will be the definition of makeup in your words?
Makeup is enhancement. Makeup doesn't remove anything from who you are. Makeup is just you wanting to enhance your eyebrows, just define your lips, put on a shade of foundation to just make yourself, it's enhancement. And the fact remains that a lot of people don't like to wear makeup, while a lot of people exactly, a lot of people don't. But let me tell you, I could put you in makeup that you won't even think you're wearing makeup, but you have a full face of makeup. You have foundation on. I've successfully hydrated and primed your face, successfully put foundation on you, like shaped your eyebrows, eyeliners, mascara, lash, and you still look the way you look, and you have a full face of makeup. And I've heavily concealed under your eyes with concealer. So makeup is relative. It just modifies, accentuates. Now, when you have to wear several facets to, remove from who you are, that is what I have a problem with. Because what it tells the world is, I don't want to look the way I look. I want to transform into something else. Makeup doesn't do that. What makeup does, makeup accentuates and makeup radiates. That's how I tell makeup. Yeah.
Thank you. After the break, we'll still talk more about makeup and some attitudes towards it, some perception of it, and also the myths about makeup. You're listening to Soul Sisters right here on Smooth 98.1. Stay with us.
This is Dari. Stay tuned, stay locked right here on Smooth 98.1.
Meals have a way of taking us on a journey, and when you add plenty of vegetables like efo, ugu, and season with the rich taste of North seasoning cubes, even better. So, go ahead and elevate your meals with more vegetables and the rich taste of Knorr cubes. Today, eat for good.
Make your evening drive home nice and smooth with your radio as company. The smooth drive home on
You need a minute?
98.1 gives you the flavor you crave for. On your radio. A slice of great radio programming, information to keep you up to date, and music for your listening pleasure.
As you're about to go home.
All you ever need for that journey home.
So when we come back, we just so I'll further go into
every weekday,
maybe some of the wrong perceptions about makeup that you think people have, and then we also talk about the right attitude to have towards makeup, and also try not to put yourself to conform to any arbitrary beauty standards.
Yes.
Love music and love life. You're listening to Smooth 98.1. Soul Sisters is the name of the show, and I am Oluwaseun. My guest is Linda Onyesoh, who is a beauty entrepreneur, amongst many other things. And we're talking about beauty standards, especially the impact of the beauty industry, with emphasis on makeup now. Before the breather, we were talking about makeup, what it is. And if I go back to the definition of the United States Food and Drug Administration, that's the FDA, they're responsible for regulating cosmetic. They define it as a product intended to be applied to the human body for cleansing, beautifying, promoting attractiveness, or altering the appearance without affecting the body structure or functions. And I think it amply describes what you talked about. Now, as a beauty entrepreneur, you make people up, you sell product that can enhance, beautify, and promote attractiveness. What would be some of those wrong mindsets and perception towards makeup that you have encountered?
Well, and of course this is for the men, because there's always this perception that you meet a woman who has a face of makeup, and when she takes it off, you want to scream. And yes, women wear makeup, and yes, women take makeup off, and yes, they will look in their natural state a certain way. So the expectation that when someone wears makeup is supposed to plaster on her face forever, no, because you actually have to take makeup off every day. If you have a face of makeup, you're gonna cleanse, remove, wipe off, do everything to be in your natural state before you go to sleep. And I say to people, please never sleep with makeup. Never. I don't care who you're trying to impress, because you will break out and you're gonna regret it the next day. So the right attitude to makeup is, like I said, it's supposed to accentuate. It's not in any way supposed to change you from what you look like or change your facial features. Nothing is supposed to come off, or nothing is supposed to alter when you take makeup off. So the right attitude to makeup, it's temporary. It's temporary. No matter how, how subtle the makeup is, or no matter how, sometimes for print the makeup has to be, crazy and all. When you take it off, you're in your natural state, and your natural state is what is more important.
I'll give you an example. I think I've said this example a number of times, and it goes way back to when I was in school. So there was this lady that she was, I think then we were in 100 level. Whenever she wanted to go out to see her boyfriend, then she would always have makeup on. If the guy says, hey, I am outside at 12 a.m., she has to get makeup on. And I'm sure that is not the only person like that exists in the world.
Yeah.
What would you say to such a person?
Wrong. Very wrong. Wrong attitude, wrong notion, because you're presenting to the boyfriend now of fakeness, I'll call it. Because what of when he sees you eventually without a face of makeup? It's just as it accentuates, it doesn't change anything of you, because you're beautiful in whatever state you are, with or without makeup. So I always say to women, I personally, honestly, even though I sell makeup, I'm more into skincare. I would rather have skin that is healthy, skin that is clean, and skin that is, has sunscreen on, and I run away from sunburn of any kind, because that is even more dangerous than having any issues with makeup. Sunburn. Like, sunburn is a menace. So, like, I try to encourage the young ones, like, makeup is just, it's something. That's when you see this, see someone on their wedding day, they look so absolutely angelic, and in their beautiful dress and the makeup and all. And after that, what happens? You're still in your natural state. You're still, you have that element of the beauty, the angelic person that you are, but with a clean face, a clean slate.
Let me ruffle a little bit, a little further. So you're a woman. You probably like makeup.
Yes, I do.
And no, not you
Okay.
now. And you get to be in a relationship, or maybe you fall in love, in quote, with a man who doesn't like makeup.
Ooh.
What do you do?
You would have to convince him that sometimes you have to wear subtle makeup, because if a man doesn't like makeup, he's not going to like you wearing makeup, and he's not going to be comfortable or happy when you wear makeup. But you can wear makeup that is subtle, and he won't even know you. Yeah, I mean, he would appreciate it. But if he doesn't want the loud makeup and all that, because the truth is, a lot of men don't like makeup.
Actually, that's where I was going.
Yeah, a lot of men don't like. I'm telling you, I'm married, and my husband does not care for makeup. There's sometimes you put somebody, like, you take some off at least. Like, we're going out, because he knows I'm also not a makeup person, and I'll be like, just please stop, just take some off, please. It's too much, So a lot of men don't like makeup, but that's why they have to understand that it's temporary. We're going to a wedding. I want to look fabulous. I want to have, my makeup well done. And the crop of makeup artists we have now are able to do it very well. It's subtle, yet nice. But you're wearing a full face of makeup, but they just accentuate it. It's nothing is crazy now, except for print. Because for print and for graphics, you have to, do it a certain way. But like, going out with your husband or going out with your family, it shouldn't be that crazy. But it could still be a full face of makeup, and with the lash and the whole, and it still look nice.
So let's wrap it up by talking about conformation to beauty standards. I'll use the example that you just used. Now, let's say I'm going for an Uwambe,
Yeah.
or I am going for a lunch, a dinner, and somehow, without anyone telling me, I know I have to put on a little bit of makeup.
Of course.
Why?
Because they'll think you look sick when you get there. Because you can't, how are you going to show up at an Uwambe where their lashes are 30 millimeters
Exactly.
long?
Why does that have to happen?
Because
Why
it's
can't
an
be regarded?
Uwambe. We are Nigerians. We party. We cannot party with a basic face. It's not happening in Lagos. Are you kidding? That's why our makeup artists are, but then again, like I said, you can also have a subtle beat. We call it a subtle beat. You can have the medium beat, which is, and then you can have the overly, full face beats, like the under eye is lighter than, like I tell you, anything you want you can get in this industry.
But it still has to come with makeup.
Yes.
That is
Yes.
sad. That is the.
It's not sad, but listen, I'm going to be able to convince you to wear makeup. I'm telling you, we could put some kind of makeup on you that you look at yourself and it's going to look exactly how beautiful your skin is now, glowing, but you're wearing makeup.
So in other words, if I'm to infer from what you're saying, for someone who doesn't like makeup and has to maybe go to functions and event that requires makeup, it's like, hey, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar.
And give to God what belongs to God.
Oh wow.
I tell you.
Okay.
But there's several ways now. There are medium foundations, because there's a very full coverage foundation and there's the barely there foundations. So we've catered to everything and everyone when it comes to makeup. Anything you want, you can get and still be comfortable in your skin. And if you want the super heavy full coverage beads, you can get that.
Okay, Muste says, well, before the text, he said he sent a meme. Women fall in love with what they hear, men fall in love by what they see. That's why women wear makeup and men lie. And if other goes to say, your last question deserves another topic. Men fall in love with what they see. Then when they wake up to reality, try to change what they met with their imagination. If you like a made-up woman, don't change your mind once you're together. Just accept her the way you met her.
Exactly.
Personally, I don't like made-up people. Those ones with extra lashes, oh my. But I understand, for each his own.
And that's what we're talking about.
Unfortunately, we've come to the end of the show.
Aww.
Time is out. What will be your final word?
Well, my final word is, you are beautiful the way you are. Makeup, no makeup, you just have to accept in yourself that you are a beautiful, gorgeous, fabulous Black woman.
All right, thank you so much. And are you active on social media?
Yes.
Where can we find
Makeup _ Maven NYNG.
All right.
Milani Cosmetics Nigeria and Beauty by Aubrey. The by has 2 Y's.
Thank you so much for your time and presence, Makeup Maven.
Yes, the Maven.
I don't know if you've been able to change my mind about makeup, but
I will change your mind. I'm telling you, I will.
It's not. Unless you give me all those things that help me to look made
And I
up
will.
without making look
And
makeup.
I will. And I will convince you. You're going to call me back and say, Seun, you are telling the truth. Because there's something for everyone.
I'll tell you one of the reasons why I struggle with it. It feels like my face can breathe.
Because you're wearing the wrong one.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, I still don't know if I've been convinced, but we'll talk about this some other day because it is a whole topic. Thank you for your time again. And you can find this stream on YouTube. It is youtube.com/smooth91FM Lagos. Thank you, Soul Sisters, for listening. And thank you, Soul Brothers, for contributing. Next week, we'll go again. This is Smooth 98.1.
It's your one-stop station for great contemporary
Thank you
music.
so much.